So I decided to do it again. I decided to go on Reddit News, and literally the very first thing I seen was this article from the Washington Post saying that police watched a man drown for 13 minutes and stopped bystanders from trying to help. So on July 25th of last year, a 30-year-old man named Mika Kalabo drowned in the Tennessee River in Knoxville. Now this is gonna sound random to bring up, but trust me, there's a reason for all of this. So as a teenager, Kalabo was addicted to opioids and used heroin to feed that addiction, and that also led to him being arrested on multiple occasions. But later down the road, he cleaned up his act, and like the article says, he began the road to recovery. The article also says that the suit states that he moved into a halfway house in Knoxville and got a job at a salvage yard, where his boss described him as a hard worker, always early, and never refused overtime. Now, I'm bringing all of this up because a couple days before his passing, he ended up relapsing, and his mom made a police report saying that he was missing. The next time he was seen was at 10 a.m. on July 25th, when witnesses say they'd seen Labo was being kicked out of a car in downtown Knoxville wearing only underwear and a t-shirt. So apparently he was dressed like Trevor when you randomly switched to him. They also said that they told police he was acting erratic and looked like he was running away from something. And an officer spotted him walking on nearby railroad tracks. And then the officer watched as Colabo jumped a fence and ran across a parking lot to a restaurant that sat next to the river. Now, I tried to figure out which exact restaurant this was, and while I could be very wrong, I think I did manage to actually find it. It's called Calhoun's. Looking at Google Maps, it is right next to the river, and there is train tracks right next to it, and a fence in between the parking lot and the train tracks. So I could very well be wrong, but it does add up, and looking around the area, I didn't see the same layout that matched what was said in the article in any sort of area besides this. So anyways, after the officer watched Kalabo do a Minecraft parkour run to the restaurant, he followed and asked Kalabo what he was doing, but Kalabo didn't answer him and just sprinted into the water, and while he was running, the officer told him to come back when he's done. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know if the officer just thought he was just gonna dip his toes in the water, but big shocker, the guy who was sprinting towards the water ended up falling in, and the officer called the fire department to send for a rescue boat. The article also says that the officer asked him to get out of the water, so he's just watching this guy drown, like...
Oh, Meg, stop it. Come on.
It even says that the officer told a restaurant employee that he couldn't get Kalabo and scoffed at the notion of Kalabo's drowning. Then, this is the best one. This is amazing. He says, "Hang out there, dude." Like, he's not drowning to death. Like, what the fuck? So the first officer was watching, then his other cop buddies came with some popcorn to watch this guy drown. Two other police officers came over and a restaurant employee and just roasted some marshmallows over the sound of a guy drowning to death. The article even says that you could hear Kalabo gasping for breath in the body cam footage. And while we don't have access to the body cam footage, we're just gonna have to take the article's word for that. I mean, nobody lies on the internet, come on.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
So within less than 5 minutes after all four of them gathered and watched the weekly entertainment, Kalabo's head disappeared under the water, and one of the officers said, "Yeah, he went under." Well, yeah, no shit. Now, while it might seem like I'm just shitting on the officers here, and I am just a little bit, but when you think about it, there's not really much they themselves could have done. The lawyer even said that if you received actual professional help, the result could have been different. But I feel like what was going to the officer's mind was really just, do I put myself at risk and more other people at risk just to save one person's life, sort of thing. I guess it's like when a superhero in a movie decides to let one person die to save multiple other people. And a lot of people don't really understand how fucking powerful water is. It is unironically one of the strongest things on Earth, and it's just a fucking liquid. And if you're not trained to be in that type of water, or you're just, on drugs, which there is a high chance of, no pun intended, that water is gonna fuck you up if you're not prepared for it. So I do feel like there should be a little blame on both sides. I definitely do feel like both parties are in the wrong in this situation, no matter who's more wrong than the other. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, or I'm gonna pour hot soup on you. Bye.